Now, one of the previous videos I did, we were talking about, of course, President Trump coming and saying that if China does not take back the tariffs which they imposed on the United States of America, there will be 50% more tariffs that gets to be added on top of the existing tariffs which are already there. And I did say that obviously this for the markets, or it can put maybe more pressure onto EV stocks like Nio, our very own. But fundamentally, you will know that this doesn't affect Nio at all. Nio is not importing a lot from the United States of America to build their cars. It might be a couple of NVIDIA chips, which this as a whole, it simply means that the impact onto Chinese EV makers like Nio will not be that much. Now, China just responded and saying that they are prepared to fight. They are not going to back down. They are prepared to fight till the end. Remember now, this is a message that it's not the first time China is saying this. China has said this numerous times to say that, look, we are prepared to fight till the end. And part of the preparation, you know that when you look into the buffers, is the $1.4 trillion stimulus which they prepared last year in November, which that stimulus was in preparation of events like this. This is one thing that I think some people forget. China has got some massive stimulus. China inflation is extremely low, so they can take some of the punches. They still got cards to play. China supplies the US with rare earth supplies which are only found, or 80% of those supplies are only found in China, and United States of America uses those for their technology. So they've got cards to play. Whereas on the other side, if China does not take back, these tariffs are going to kick in immediately today, which, yeah man, it's not a good thing. This back and forth, honestly, just all it does is to slow down the global economic growth. And we just thank God for now, because Nio is not just selling their cars in the United States of America. Otherwise, if they were there and doing well, we could have been talking a different ball game, a different story, which would have been making the new investors to really be worried, panicking, because those cars that are being sold in the US were going to face serious hit. Tesla, on the other side, they are selling a lot, of course, in China, and with that, we know that China can use Tesla also as playing their cards to fight the United States of America. I mean, just couple of hours ago, we read that President Trump was saying to the Fed that they should cut interest rates and gave a warning. Can you imagine, man? President Trump is saying if the Fed needs to cut interest rates. The fact that the United States of America has been imposing tariffs onto China and other countries, and some of these other countries are retaliating back to the US, right? This simply means that obviously it might have an impact onto the products that these outside countries were supplying to China, which means that those products which are rare, those products which US was getting from some of these countries that are retaliating, they are going to be so in demand in the US, and therefore prices of those products, materials, is going to go up. And when those go up, we all know that that triggers inflation, and inflation triggers increase in interest rates, which is something that obviously we know that that is not a good environment. So Nio and other EV stocks, they are not impacted by this as yet, because they are not selling their cars in the US, because these, in fact, cars that China as a whole is exporting to the US, it's not a lot. And this simply means that even on the exports, when you look at our very own Nio, there's nothing much that this can do to Nio, but obviously it just makes it even more difficult for Nio to have plans to penetrate the US market because of these tariffs that the US is imposing and still plans on imposing to China. I mean, did you see this post, man? Let's go through this post where he's insisting that the Fed should cut interest rates and gave a warning. He said oil prices are down, interest rates are down, the slow-moving Fed should cut rates, food prices are down, there is no inflation, and the long-time abused US is bringing in billions of dollars a week from the abusing countries on tariffs that are already in place. This is despite the fact that the biggest abuser of them all, China, whose markets are crashing, just raised its tariffs by 34%, on top of its long-term ridiculous high tariff plus, not acknowledging my warning for abusing countries not to retaliate. They've made enough for decades, taking advantage of the good of USA, right? Our past leaders are to be blamed for allowing this and so much else to happen into our country. Make America great. So basically that's what he's saying. He's saying Fed should cut interest rates, oil prices are down, food prices are down, and he said there is no inflation. So he does not see the reason why the Fed should not cut interest rates. And like I said, he gave a warning on that to say that they are warned. They rather do as he says. And this again, obviously, it's what he said. And you mentioned China, said that they've benefited, it's enough. China has generated enough money from the US, it's enough. From now on, things will be done in favor of the United States of America. And this, my friends, it's something that, yeah, man, the markets obviously are not liking this, but let's hope things get better with time. Let's hope US and America, though Trump said they are not gonna talk with China if they don't take back the 34%, but let's hope at the end of the day the two countries sit down together, they resolve the issues, it's business as usual, or it becomes business as normal, which will of course make companies to see some growth, some good growth. Otherwise, with all that, just thought I'd give you this quick update. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll see you on the next one, and God bless you all.